Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Overcome Yourself podcast. As you know, my name is Nicole, and today I'm super excited to be here with you with Laura Cortez. And Laura is a business, hold on, let me make sure, I want to make sure I say this right. You told me you're a Asia business specialist. And so she
Correct.
is coming to us all the way from the other side of the world in China. Woo! And she's going to tell us how we as entrepreneurs can use these relationships and I don't know, leverage and licensing, and we can get stuff over here and build amazing freaking businesses. I'm so excited. So Laura, take it away. Tell me about what you do and how we can make money with China.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I am very excited. Um, basically, a lot of people that reach out and talk to me when they want to do with China, because there is still a lot of misconceptions of how doing business with China is. But they, at the same time, they're still very curious because, of course, we all hear the stories, like manufacturing in China should be cheaper than anywhere else in the world. But how can I do it? And there is also the stories of, oh my God, I got scammed. Like I bought
Yes.
something online, or I reach out to a supplier and it's just not the right product. It's just not what I asked for, or maybe sometimes they stop answering. So something that I do, and I've been doing
Oh,
for a
I've
very
got
long
one.
time. You got
I
one of those.
I've
Okay.
got one. I wanted to learn how to order, right? Because I
Yeah.
saw people, selling stuff on Amazon and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I found the product I wanted, and then
Yeah.
shipping. And then I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God, I don't know how this works. And I
No,
gave up.
actually, you will be surprised how many people that really want to start like a new business. And of course, they want
Mhm.
to do it online right now, especially after COVID. There is a lot of new entrepreneurs that really want to do something and they have to do it online.
Yes.
So they start by going to Alibaba, AliExpress, or any
Yep.
website that they can find. And it's very, very common that because the use of it is, even though there is a lot of resources, not many people can give you the tips, like the real tips of how to do it, or
Oh,
how to negotiate,
real.
or how even to understand the culture, right? Like, because one of the biggest problems that I have seen between people in other parts of the world and dealing with Chinese suppliers is how we communicate, because they truly speak a different language, a different
Yes.
culture, and it makes it very complicated. So for many years, I worked me developing products. I worked developing suppliers, and I learned everything about manufacture. I learned everything about textiles, about how to do, for example, cosmetics, which are super popular, how to do mobile cases, pretty much anything they can think of. I've been in those factories because
So
for many years
cool.
I had to do it, that was my job. And I was very shocked how many people, unfortunately, because they didn't have the right information, they didn't get it right. And it's hard, even when you know it, even now after all these years, sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this could be so much better. So I start thinking, like, if even for me that I'm here and I know what I know, it's a struggle. Oh my, what if a new person wants to invest on this, and they want to invest 1,000 or $2,000 or even less? You don't want to risk it, right? You don't want to just lose your money. You want
Right.
to be safe or minimize the risk of it. So I started thinking about this, and I started reaching out to people, and I said, hey, I want to help you. I really want to help you with this. I want to teach you how to do it. And for a time I was actually doing the manufacture for them, and now I just want to share my knowledge. I just want to go and share it and help people stop the risk of getting the wrong product, because it's truly not that difficult. It's really not that strange to do business with Asia, not just with China, but with all Asia, once you really understand how to do it, like the step-by-step process. So
Yes.
I'm curious. I'm really curious what product you wanted to find.
Well, I don't know. I don't remember. Um I was just researching some stuff and I was like, I don't even know where to start. But like if I was actually oh no, that's a lie. I was looking for a pots and pans set. I have a
Okay.
client that wants to sell pots and pans and he wants to put his logo on them. And
Okay. Yes.
so, yeah, so I was trying, and then on top of that, like you said, we don't really, we didn't really want to start with $100,000 investment. We
Of
wanted to
course.
start with maybe $1,000, get a few
Yes.
units, see how it works, and then we can decide what to do. But I couldn't find anyone that, hit all the criteria. And then once we did, like I
Yeah.
paid for a product and then I couldn't get shipping information. So, or like I put in
Yeah.
my information and I couldn't even pay for the product. I didn't know how to pay for it. And then I had to pick shipping and then it just got canceled. So I was like, okay, I don't know how to do this.
Oh no, I totally understand. And if you do this through Alibaba, it's huge, right? It's as big as
Right.
Amazon in Asia. And one of the things that they have is that they they sell the spaces to manufacturers, right? Like, so as long as you pay on Alibaba your space, if I'm a manufacturer in China, they can be traders and they can be like no 100% stable, maybe one day I open my company, oh, I should be on Alibaba, I will be there 1 year. So this is the kind of suppliers that you can find too. You can find very good suppliers too, but you can find suppliers that are very new, that they don't know how to handle orders, that they don't know how to communicate, and
Yeah,
because
like
they
I was like,
don't
how do we handle shipping? And they're like, I'm canceling your
yeah.
order. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What? I just need some help, man. Like I want to give you my money. What do you mean?
Let me tell you something. Probably this supplier didn't want to learn how to deal with the problem and was like, okay, you know what? It's easier for me to cancel. Like
Right.
probably, yeah, I've seen this many, many, many times. It has
So
happened to
is
me
there like
also.
a do you recommend an alternative?
So, well, my recommendation that I give, if you want to start you want to find a new product, first is to read. I guess you did this before. Is like you have to define very well first the product that you need.
Yes.
And I always tell the people, start backwards. First define your sales price. Like, what is really the sales price in your market, right? If you are going to sell this in, I don't know, California, let's start like step by step, right? Okay, I'm gonna sell this in my little shop or in my online shop, and I'm gonna stay in California, or I'm gonna stay in the whole country, right? In the States. uh, then I will check my cost of, you know, having it on my shop here in the USA or distributing in the States, my costs that I can control and I know of. And then what is the profit that you want to make? And that's how you will calculate the rough cost that you need to pay from China, including the shipping. Like that's how you go backwards. So when you go and you find your suppliers, you already can get rid of the prices that you are not interested at, and then you can just select the suppliers based on what you need, like delivery time. You can select the supplier based on their quality, on their quantities, because some suppliers might not accept your order because your quantity is too small, like you said. So you don't want to start with a huge amount, right? So some suppliers might not accept it, so you need to find out which supplier can accept your order as well. So we need to define the price the cost that you want to pay in this case, so you can have like a profile of the supplier that you want. And then you negotiate with the supplier first a sample. I always tell everybody, never buy a full order until you get a sample.
Yeah, but even for the sample, the shipping cost
Even
me
then,
more than the sample.
yes, one thing that I always negotiate with suppliers is that I tell them I will not pay you for the sample, but I will pay you for the shipping. And sometimes
Interesting.
they do accept, huh? They do accept, precisely because shipping, and especially now with COVID, it has become so expensive. I will say, like, listen, I will not pay you for the sample, but I will definitely pay you for the shipping. And if you have a DHL account or FedEx account, a company one is much, much cheaper than just give them the cost to them of the shipping. You can give your like
Okay.
DHL account, and that's easier for them to handle.
Oh, so
That's
you
something
set
that
up your own DHL account.
yes, it's for free. If you have a company, you can set up your DHL account, and if you don't use it, they don't charge you. Like,
Okay,
it's for free
okay.
to do this. Like, that's something that I will totally recommend to people. Like if you want to
Hey,
negotiate a
that is a
sample.
$1 million tip right there, yo. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All
Like
right.
I have clients that they were like, hey, I don't want to pay for a sample. I recommend to do it if it's a product that is completely new, right? Like you are designing something. If it's a product that is already there in the warehouse of the supplier, don't pay for it. Like just pay for the shipping.
Okay. And
And the
so
only
the way
uh
that the shipping works is, from what I understand, tell me if this is wrong. So I give that manufacturer, or the distributor, whatever, I give them
yeah,
an address to a warehouse that's in China. Then that would be like, for example, if I have a DHL account, it would be the DHL warehouse in China. And then DHL is the one that ships it to me, correct?
yeah. So how it works is that you just give them your DHL account to the supplier, and the supplier will call DHL, and DHL will pick it up and ship it to you.
Oh,
Easy
okay.
peasy.
All
Like
right, that's not so complicated. I can do that.
yeah, it's really not. The tricky thing, the only tricky here part is that you want to negotiate with the supplier not to pay for that sample, right? Like if truly this sample is really not worth to pay, because probably it's something they have in stock, right? Like you don't want your logo in it, you don't want to see anything, you just want to maybe check the quality, right? Maybe you're interested in the material. Um, like, hey, I will totally tell you, don't pay for it. Like just pay for the shipping. But if it's a sample, that's something that you want to see how your logo is going to look, or
Mhm.
how your colors or your design is going to look, they will definitely charge you. And I will suggest you to, only when you're sure that this is the right supplier, definitely pay for the sample, because you
Okay.
want to be sure of how your product is going to look.
Okay. So
Yeah,
only pay for the sample if it's custom, like if it's customized. If it's custom.
correct. Correct. Yes. See if it's
Cool.
customized, for sure. If it's not customized, no need, to be honest. No need, to be honest, because they probably have in warehouse. Actually, a lot of people that they do drop shipping, which is super popular,
Yes.
uh, is based on products that are not custom made. They want to tell you that it's custom made, all drop shippers, but it's really not, because drop shipping requires the product to be in stock.
Right.
Otherwise,
And
there's
but
not drop
okay,
shipping.
so right, but then drop shipping, like you can create that yourself. Like in one of my companies, I have a fulfillment center.
Oh,
And
great.
so yeah, so it's not Amazon, but like I have my own. And so like I get my product and then I have it delivered to my fulfillment center, and then I do like a DIY drop shipping thing.
Yes, yes.
Because you can't really do drop shipping like from China because of the shipping issue, right? Like it's
Yeah,
gonna be way
yeah.
too expensive. So you have to do that yourself. Okay. All
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so some people do drop shipping using like Alibaba, AliExpress,
Mm-hmm.
or Taobao, which is another platform that I'm not sure if you've heard of. And
What
what
is
they
it?
do,
Taba?
Taobao. Yeah, it's a very local. It's like Amazon, but it's not. I guess I will describe it as eBay. It's like the eBay of China.
Okay, okay.
And what some people do, very clever ones, by the way, that I've met, is that they purchase from there, and this platform can include the shipping already to your country, and it belongs to Alibaba as well. Actually, it's from same company, and it's
Okay.
actually easier to handle the payment, way easier than Alibaba itself or AliExpress itself. So,
Interesting.
and they ship it to your warehouse, to your fulfillment center. I had a client that's what we used to do. Like I used to handle their manufacture here, and I used to consolidate from different suppliers, and I used to send it to this fulfillment center. And at one point, what I did is that I just asked the suppliers to send directly to the fulfillment center, and it was great, because it will save a lot of
Yeah.
time. Yeah, because it saves a lot of time if you just send it directly to your fulfillment center, already in the packaging and everything that you need to,
Heck
right, to
yeah.
distribute.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what we did. Like all I had to do is prep. Like I do also use Amazon, and for
Yeah,
Amazon, you just have to prep the boxes and send them on their way. So yeah, man, that's amazing. I love my
yeah.
fulfillment center.
No, it's actually a super good idea when you don't want to have your own warehouse, and if you own and you are like renting out the
Man,
services.
That is
But
the
it's like,
only way to scale. Like,
yes, for sure.
because
Yeah.
we looked into, having our own space, but like there's so much that goes into, there's so many logistics. And look, if I don't have to look at another shipping label in the rest of my life, I'll be happy. Because I was handling the
Yeah.
shipping in the beginning, man. But like the only way to scale is to outsource like that. Now, quick
Yes.
question about
Yes.
these that you mentioned. Do you
Yeah.
find that these two, like Taobao and AliExpress, are more expensive than Alibaba, or does the shipping, does it just look less expensive because of the whole shipping situation?
So I'm going to be straightforward with you. The prices that you see on Alibaba page
Uh-huh.
are just not going to be the right price.
Okay.
Those prices that they set up on their profile, right? Like you see a product and you will see a range of prices, and then you will see a minimum order. Most of the time, it's just like the clickbait for them. This is the way they got
Okay.
you to click there, to check the page, and to start a conversation with you.
Mhm.
Something that I have to recognize and that I actually admire of people in China and the working here is that they really want to reach out to you. Like, it's just not selling through the website. They really like interaction. So it's very personalized the way they sell. So once they get you in the website, you will send a request and they will try to contact you via email. They will try to contact you by the phone. They will try to contact you by WeChat, by WhatsApp. So I think talking to them is actually quite good. You can learn a lot from them by talking to them, and you can negotiate prices. Always negotiate the price. Never take the first price that they give you. Try to negotiate 2-3 times, and I'm sure that you could get something that you really want. Also, the payment terms. For the people that listen to your program,
Mhm.
never pay 100% in advance. Never.
Okay.
Never do that. No matter where you do business, not even if it's only China. Just pay for opening your order, and then pay once the order is finished, because I've seen some horrible stories of people
Okay.
that I pay $5,000 for my order and it never arrived, and I'm like, oh no. Like, don't do that, especially if you're starting. $5,000 is a lot of money for some people, you
Yeah.
know and it's, I mean, even if you have it as for spare, we are not wasting, right? Business is not about wasting.
Right. Of
so
course.
so I'm like, no, don't do that. I always tell, no, don't do that. It doesn't matter if it's even $1,000, $100,000, or $1,000,000. Like, no, treat it the same way that you will, like, treat your $1,000 the same way that you will treat your $1,000,000. You want to take care of it, and you want to make sure that what you're doing with it.
Yeah, man. You gotta respect your money. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
exactly.
yeah, I learned that, and somebody was like, like if you see like even a penny on the floor, like pick it up, like that. You
Yeah,
gotta respect money, because that you gotta treat that penny like it's money. Like, don't just leave it on the floor.
yeah.
Like, give it a good place to come, and more will come to you, man.
Of course, of course, of course, of course. No, no,
I
no, of
I
course.
love that.
And Chinese people don't waste. So, but they're very hard in negotiation. So, like, it's all about negotiating with them. Honestly, being straightforward helps a lot. And repeating with them and keep everything on email and on paper helps a lot. I work with them uh, every day of my life. I
Yeah.
have wonderful friends I have wonderful friends that they work in manufacture, and something that they told me is like, Laura, the fact that you're so straightforward, like, we like it. And one big tip that I have for you, in more because of cultural differences, is that it's very hard for them to say no. I think it's language, because in Chinese there is no really a no answer, in the language.
Oh,
So if you talk to somebody, they might tell you no right away, especially like in English or even Spanish. We can ask a negative question like, oh, you didn't close the door. So you expect somebody to tell you, oh no, I didn't, like a negative answer, a negative answer. In China, they will tell you yes, but that means that you are right. I didn't close the door. So that's a lot of misunderstanding. It took me years to realize that they cannot say no. They really cannot. So if you are asking them because there was a mistake or something that you're ordering and they don't give you, and you have kind of doubts that they're understanding what you want, if they don't say no, like push it until you make sure that they got your meaning.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly,
No,
it's
yes,
like
yes. Um,
like it sounds silly and it sounds like, because some people were like, oh come on. I said like, no, trust me, I've been in negotiations with contracts, with brands. I've been sitting with companies that have a lot of money on the table, you know. And because the Chinese party is not able to say no, the communication can break. So I'm like, always just make 100% sure that you understand what you want.
yeah, no, and I think that you and I speaking two different languages,
Yeah.
we understand that a lot can get lost in translation.
Yeah, that's so true. No, it's so
um,
true. It's so true.
yes,
It's so true. It can get lost in translation, like in a horrible way. And we need to be careful when we are like investing our money in this.
yes, definitely. So man, this is awesome. This is awesome, awesome.
Yeah, no, I've been here for 12 years. I've been learning so much. Sometimes I still feel like I'm learning. And I've seen people from all over the world. I have worked with people from the States, people from Europe, from Australia. I have people from Singapore. I work with people from the Middle East as well. And the styles of negotiating, it's so different, you know, from everywhere, that when they come to me, I'm like, oh wow, I'm like the bridge between sometimes Chinese people, like Chinese culture, and all these other cultures, even my own, right? Because I have my own culture too. So I really need to think about how I communicate when I'm doing business and how to do it. And the biggest for me is like, I learn to narrow it down into steps. Everything that I do and when I explain, I try to say like, oh, you know, step number one, you do A, B, C, D, and then you move into step number two, and you do A, B, C, D. And I find out that that's how helped me a lot in sourcing. It has helped me a lot in developing products, negotiating contracts, and I found it very, very useful when I'm talking, especially with people in China.
Okay, yeah, and I mean that's what he did at the beginning of our talk is, you let me know, you need to work kind of backwards, and then you said you need find out what product, define your price, define your
Yeah,
territory, cost of distribution, what profit. I mean, you just broke it down, like this is what you need to
yeah,
do. And
yeah.
so
That's
yeah,
it.
I love it. It just break it down into simple steps, and that makes a lot of sense because basically what you do is you just take this big goal and then you've just taught yourself how to break it down into chunks so it's not overwhelming. You just do things one step at a time, man. That's just genius. Like that's not just good for that's good for anything, like doing the
Yes, correct.
dishes. You can do
No,
that.
correct. No, honestly, because I was like, oh, in the past, you know, I used to handle some brands, and I remember I was working for a licensed company in Mexico at the time, and we were doing a Lamborghini bag, and the Lamborghini is like kind of luxury brand that we have, you know, at the time. And I went to check out the production because the CEO at the time is like, hey Laura, we think that there might be a problem, could you please go, we need you to check it out because the people that we have there, they're not like solving the problem. And I was like, okay, sure, what is it? They were like, oh, we will send you the information, well, you go on your way, we will gather everything and you just go. So I went, and I remember I arrived super late, and I was like, "Oh my god!" I walk into the factory. I'm meeting with my people, and I'm meeting with the factory, and I'm looking at the products, and the logo was like in the wrong place with the wrong size, everything, and I was like, "Oh my god, how is this even possible?" How And I checked the design. And this is professional people that design for Lamborghini. So the designs that they handed to the manufacturer were like perfect. You know, there was like no problem. you know what was the issue? That the type of file that they use to send their
Oh
designs
my
was
God.
not the same type of file that they used to open the
Oh
designs
my
in China.
God.
So that broke down the design completely. And I was like, oh, damn. So even those steps can, like, you will never even think of it, you know?
Things
I
you
was
would
like,
never ever in a million years think about, man.
yeah.
They were like,
And I was
we
like,
made it exactly how you guys sent it.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, how can we blame him, right? Like, how can I blame the guy when he's like, oh, you know, I opened my file and it looks like this. I opened the file with my team and it looks completely, it looks different. So I was like, oh, wow. But it took me like hours to figure out what the problem was, you know, because we will arguing and arguing and arguing and arguing until finally I was like, you know what? Bring me your computer. Bring me the computer of the product manager. I
You're
want to
like,
see
let's do this
computer.
step by step. Show me what you did.
Exactly. Yeah. That and that from that experience, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put everything on step by step so I can figure it
Uh,
out. What's the problem, you know, or what can be improved.
wow, and it's all perspective. Like, that's all
Yeah.
perspective. Like, this is the way I see it. This is the way you see it. And oh my God, that's
Yeah.
so cute though. That's such a good story. Like, when it happened, I'm sure that you were not happy about
Oh God, no,
it.
no. I was
You
so
know?
stressed. I was
Oh,
so stressed. I was like, oh wow, what can we do? Because if there is a problem with the license can take from you the right to use it, right?
right. Yes.
So this is still brands. This is how it works with brands. They license the manufacturer in other countries for other people to pay it like a brand fee. So it's like you need to do it right, you know, especially because they do audit. These brands go randomly into the market and they take products from you so they can make sure that you are not misusing the brand, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you really need to make sure the manufacturing is doing well. So it was one of my first jobs like 10 years ago. So I was working also with Hello Kitty and Boy London for Mexico. And I was like so stressed. I was like, oh my God, what can I do? So it was a good experience, you know, I learned from it. Now I'm like over obsessed about writing everything down. And now I have a team, you know, of people that I manage, and it's like 8 people abroad and 10 people here in China. And they're always like telling me, oh, why you're so obsessed with everything being on paper and this. And especially because I work with people from different parts of the world. And
Yes.
now they know because they have learned. Sometimes they come to me and it's like, oh, this happened. Like they said I didn't send the email, but we talk on the phone. I'm like, did you send the email like I asked you? No. I said, well, now you know. Now you know why. You know, it's like now I'm a little bit obsessed on it, but it helps. It helps a lot.
Wow. 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 I love that story. Like, that's such a good story. Like I said, it wasn't good when it was happening, but
Yeah.
and it makes you realize, it happens to the best of us. Like, if
Yeah.
something crazy happens to your business, you could be like, you know what? It happened to Lamborghini, like,
Yeah.
and they
Oh,
survived. It could happen to me and I'll be okay.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
You are absolutely fine. I work also with manufacturing. Um, I work with Xiaomi in one point. I work with several brands, and they're like the same problems that an entrepreneur, like a small business, can have. Trust me, it's happening as well with with a bigger company, because there
Right.
is
You
just
know
so
what?
many people involved.
Yeah, sometimes like my clients call me and they're freaking out and they're like, I have this problem, and they explain the
Mm,
problem. And I'm like, you know what? Before we get into how we're going to solve this, I want to say congratulations. This is a
yeah.
great problem for you to be having. I know it sucks right now, but if this is a growth problem, like, this is the next level problem. So congratulations on your awesome problem.
Well, it's a very good positive way to see it, and actually you are absolutely right. When I interview people when they come and work with me, or they want to join my team, I always ask them, tell me one problem and in your work, on your previous job or in your experience, that you really remember and how you solved it. And I like the people that are honest with me and they tell me the problem and they tell me how they solve it. Because, and this is something that I tell to everybody, you will always have a problem. I've been broke in my life in the past and I've been super well in my life. And I work with people that were startups and I've been with people that are like, man, like I have meetings with indie techs, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I've been on these tables and let me tell you something, they always have problems. So I prefer somebody that will tell me the problem because A, they're honest. B, they will tell me how they solve it so I can see that they're responsible. And then when they explain to me how they really solve it, I will understand if they really are creative on how they solve the problem, you know? And that's the kind of people that you want in your team, I believe. You want somebody that you can rely on, that when something is going to happen, they will be there for you.
Yes, I love it. Now you mentioned that you started to develop an online platform to offer online business courses on doing business in China. How is that going?
Correct. So, like in 2020, when COVID happened, I was in Mexico and I was stuck there for a while. So I started like having kind of between freaking out because I was stuck in Mexico. And even though I love my country, my whole life, business, friends, everything is here in China, I was like, oh my God, how can I go back? My cats are in here. uh, so I started having a lot of free time to freak out and to think about what I wanted to do. You know, I wanted to do something kind of meaningful with my life. Um,
Absolutely.
and I came back. I have also a job. I'm associate manager for a testing and certification company that is their headquarters are in Sunnyvale in the Silicon Valley.
Oh, cool.
And I came back and I was in my office. You know, I was with my team. I was working, and I was thinking like I want to do more. Like I want to do really more. And I've always been a believer of education. So right now I don't have the time to go back and change my whole career and become an educator, you know. But I do have knowledge and I do have a lot of experience in business here with China. I'm a certified counselor, I'm a business coach, and that's my degree and it's my specialization that I got here. So I decided that okay, if I really want to do something meaningful, I want to share that knowledge. So that's how the idea of creating my online platform came, and it has been slowly getting into shape. And I will be ready to launch my first courses next year, at the beginning of next year. And I've been doing everything. I'm gathering my team, I gathering the content because I want to try to simplify as much as I can, so new people that have absolutely no idea of how to do business with China can just go check it out and feel that they can do it, you know, feel like they will be able to do it. And when they do it, they really minimize the risk, like of no, you know, they don't want to, I don't want them to lose money, you know, that's something I
Yes.
don't want to see happening again. And also because I really want to share my experiences. I really want to put the word out there. I also want to give a more positive view of this country because I have a close relationship with, and it has been very nice for me to be here. You know, there are goods and bads, but it has been more good for me, and I want to pass that as well.
Aw, I love that. That is so cool. Like you're just a very international lady then.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. So
love it.
I've been here for so many years. I came when I was 24, and 12 years now. So I'll be 37 at the end of this year, and I was like, wow,
Very
I want I yeah. I honestly, I it's mostly because I really want to do something um, that for me means more, you know, than just working and going to the office. I want to really share things. I want to reach out to people, connect, and help, you know, help in the best way possible. um, I don't want to be the typical business coach that they will tell you, you can be as wealthy as I am and I did it in 1 week.
yeah.
No, I wanna be like, listen, this is how it actually works. But
Yes.
don't worry. with the tools, these tools, you can really start. You can really do it if it's well explained and if you take the right steps.
I love it. That's amazing, Laura. And
Thank you.
I have here, we can get in touch with you. We mentioned the Olingo
Mhm.
Co, and
Yes.
that is the course that
The
you're
web,
working on.
yeah, so Olingo is my platform that it's already available. Actually, I have an active business blog where I share useful information about how to do business. And my course, the two courses that are going to be available at the end of the year is it's going to be how to do sourcing precisely, how you're going to start from exactly from zero. That I have no idea how to do it until like you can really get your first order done. And the second course is going to be how to import your product from China into your country. Like
Oh,
I will
wow.
I'm breaking it down for people. I'm also making all my courses completely affordable. I was doing the research. I have a team of people doing it for me as well, where they're checking the price of courses. And I'm like, you know what? I am going to make this really affordable because I want to reach out as many people as I can. And I want them to really learn. I was very surprised of how many people from Nigeria are already starting to contact me, very interested in learning more. And
Very
I'm like,
cool.
wow, I'm like, yes, great, guys. Absolutely. I will definitely give you, the call out when this is ready because I want to do it well. I want to give quality content, and also want to be available for people when they reach out and if they have any questions.
I love it. And then you have another website. I guess this is more towards coaching, lauracortez.net.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where we can get in touch with you, right?
Yeah, that's my personal website because I after working for a few years with some big companies here in China, they were like, we need to reach out to you. And I'm like, oh, check my website. Check my website, please. And
Very
yeah, I also share my thoughts. I share my experiences there. Um, and yeah, I was very, honestly, that one is the oldest page that I have because I did it mostly as a CV, like 7 years ago. And I found it very interesting how there were people that actually were like listening to me. I was like, wow, this is good.
very
So I started
cool. That's
writing more.
awesome.
Yeah. It has been an interesting journey.
I love it. Um, everything that you do, Laura, it's just amazing. Thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for joining me today and helping us out. Like the information that you are sharing with the world is so invaluable. There's so many opportunities, to make money online, hands off. You invest some time getting your products, and I mean, you have a store that you don't have to clean the shelves, you don't have to hire. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, no.
it's a money making machine. And so this is just such an amazing, because I always tell my clients, you have two options when you're starting a business. You can
Yeah.
either invest your time if you've got the
Hmm.
time, or you can invest your money. And so this is definitely one of those invest your money to start a business kind of things. You do need to invest some time doing your research and stuff, but putting your
Absolutely.
money to work for you, man, right? And and
Absolutely.
then getting the right teams in place. So I think what you're doing, your mission is amazing. I've been to some conferences. Do you ever
Hmm.
come over here and do conferences so that we can like meet you and before we make our way to
So
China?
So in the States, I have not, but I have given some conferences online because of
Very
COVID, of
cool.
course.
Yeah.
And I gave some conferences back in Mexico a few years ago. Well, now a few years ago, I haven't been in Mexico in 2 years. So right now, unfortunately, because the borders are
Yes, yes,
completely
yes,
sealed,
yes.
it's just impossible for me to go. I do plan to give some webinars next year. I
Okay.
will organize some webinars online, but I need to wait a little bit and to see how the borders are. I will have, but I still don't have the dates here. I will have. I was invited to a conferences for women in leadership, but it will be
Okay.
around March or April. I'm not 100% sure yet. They will send me the information later, and I will definitely publish that, and I will invite everybody so they can join and check women in leadership here in Asia.
Yay! Oh, that's
Mhm.
amazing. Okay, thank you so much, Laura. All right. So we are signing
Perfect.
off for today, but as I said before, you can get in touch with Laura. You can go to her website. So I'll make sure everything is in the show notes for you guys. And we will see you next time. Thanks you so much for joining.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.